I'm sitting here with Russ Cremer, who is running for Clearlake City Council. So Russ, how long have you been in Clearlake?
Well, Beth, I was actually born and raised in Lake County in Lower Lake, and left to pursue a career, my wife and I, and came back permanently in 2003.
Where did you go to school?
I graduated from Lower Lake High School in 1966 and went to the University of California at Davis, where I majored in agricultural business management. I received my bachelor's degree in 1970. Came back to Lower Lake, and my mother decided that I needed to have a better job than what I was doing at that time, which was cutting wood. So I got an interview with Bank of America and subsequently was hired by them. Worked for them for 25 years. I left in 1990 and actually went out on my own as a agricultural consultant, or agricultural appraiser consultant, and I did agricultural consultant and appraiser fills that out. I was also coming back up here all the time. We have a family farm here. My great-grandfather came in 1879, and we basically have been here continuously farming, and the family has since that time. So we have the farm, we have the rangeland out here on the east side of the city that my great-grandfather acquired in 1916, actually, the last part of it. I think he had portions of it before that from family history I've been able to glean. So, at any rate, I digress. I got back in 2003. I felt like I'd missed it, and even though I was coming here a lot on the weekends and knew, of course, all my old friends and others, I really felt like I'd missed a generation by being gone for that 30 years or so. So I wanted to get involved. I had an opportunity when Bill and Charlie Diener and Dave Deakins approached me about helping out to form a fundraising group to raise for Lower Lake High School sports. We formed Lower Lake High School Football Fundraising Association, or as we call it, LUSHFA. I was active in that. I was its treasurer for I think 6 or 7 years. In that time, we raised over $100,000. But also during that time, I got more and more involved in community service. I helped led the effort to build a softball field at Lower Lake High School. The one that they had there was very small. The outfields were like 100, 150 feet. It was just really compact. So I led that effort. I also used some of my own equipment in preparing the field and so forth. Followed that up when I was with the bank. We were involved with FFA project judging and livestock sales at the junior livestock auctions, and while I was in Chico with the bank. I loved what FFA did. I wanted to bring that back here. When I was growing up here, when I went to school here, we didn't have that, and I thought, well, now Middletown, Kelseyville, and Upper Lake all have programs that were successful, and there was no reason in the world I thought that Lower Lake High School shouldn't also have one. So I started that effort, and I led that effort with the help of a lot of other good people, by the way. And we now have a vocational ag program, an FFA chapter at Lower Lake High School, and I think it's in its 5th year now and growing. So that was probably one of my proudest accomplishments.
Right. I've seen the garden. I've seen what's going on over there. Was chased around by the turkey. So.
Yeah. Hopefully they're going to grow to have a little bit larger farm than what they have now. But that's coming with. I think there's some money in the bond, the measure-wide bond. In fact, I'm on that oversight committee for that bond to go ahead and expand the farm and expand the facilities a little bit going forward. My family has also been deeply involved in the fire department locally. My cousin was a long-term chief here in Clearlake. My uncle was a chief in Lower Lake Volunteer Department. My dad was a charter member of the Lower Lake Volunteer Fire Department, and I was actually a volunteer during my college years, coming back in the summers. So that's kind of in the blood. There's other relatives that have been.
And you're also a first responder, are you not?
Well,
The first to go out when there's a fire?
no, I'm not now. When I was on the volunteer
When you
department, I
were,
would have
yeah.
been,
Well,
but I joined the fire board. I was appointed to the fire board. That was I forget the year that I was appointed, but that was something that I was really interested in doing, and people had asked me about perhaps seeing if I could get appointed, and I was successful in that. Served on that board for 5 years, and I think we did some good things. Our now chief, Willie Cepeda, was just appointed at the same time that I was, so I kind of grew up with him in his position as chief, and learned a lot from Chief Cepeda. Also learned about public agency budgeting when I was on the fire board, something that will serve me well on city council going forward.
you've also served on the planning commission.
I did. I was, while I was on the board, again, I was approached by someone to see if I'd be interested in being on the planning commission. They felt with my background as an appraiser and on farm management as well, that I would have the skills to be able to do a good job on that. And
You're also part of Rotary, are you not?
I am.
You're past president?
No, I'm not a past president. I'm its present treasurer.
Oops, sorry about that.
And I've been its treasurer for quite a while, through several of our past presidents, as a matter of fact. I actually joined Rotary. I was invited to Rotary when I was making my push for the softball field. I went around to Rotary and the Lions and was trying to hustle some money to help us build the field, and I didn't realize it, but that was my first visit. It takes 3 visits before you can be voted on to be in Rotary, and I was invited back a couple more times, and before I know it, I'm in Rotary. So they kind of conned me there.
Right.
But then that led to another thing, as long as we're talking about Rotary. Early on, they wanted to put together a 501c3 between our clubs there's 4 clubs in Lake County. Actually, 3 of them were interested in putting together a 501c3. And they asked me if I wanted to, be Clear Lake's representative, going down and meeting with the representative from Middletown and one from Kelseyville. The 3 of us, B. Moulton in Middletown was the president, Gloria Flaherty in Kelseyville was secretary, and then here I was treasurer again. So we got the papers together, mostly due to B's efforts. Very intelligent lady, and she led us through that part. So I'm a charter member and a founding member of LARCA, and its treasurer, and still its treasurer. That happened. I think we formed in 2011, and we were just meant to be help with each of our clubs' fundraising. But 2015, when the fires hit, that all changed. Our Lakeport club actually had received some pretty sizable donations, and they contacted us, our LARCA board from the 3 clubs, and said, "Hey, we think we need to form this fire fund. Would you be interested in it being run through LARCA?" And what else could you say? Sure. So we met actually in Lakeport, and Lakeport Rotary then joined LARCA, so now all 4 clubs are part of LARCA. That effort for the Valley Fire and the Rocky and the Jerusalem fires, the 2015 fires, raised just under $1 million, 900 and something thousand, I think. And then we had the Clayton fire the next year. We raised additional funds. We're well over $1 million in our LARCA Fire Relief Fund now. And then, of course, in 2017, the
Sulfur.
North Bay fires. So we took our show on the road. We, our district, our Rotary district, asked us if we would help form a fire fund for actually the 4 counties, Napa, Sonoma, Mendocino, and Lake. Although our losses were probably the lowest of the 4 counties. The 4 counties.
For that particular fire.
Pardon me?
For that particular fire.
For the North Bay fires, all
Right.
of them. The sulfur fire we lost, I mean, it was a big loss, 150 homes, but compared to the other 3 counties, it wasn't
Right,
as big.
thousands of homes, yeah.
Yeah, so we've actually formed another fire fund, which we call the Rotary District 5130 Fire Relief Fund, under the LARCA umbrella. And we've raised nearly $2 million in that effort, with a lot of help from a lot of folks. Redwood Credit, I have to give a huge amount of credit to Senator McGuire and the Press Democrat with their fund. They actually, we requested, and they gave us $1 million to be used for small business recovery grants.
Wonderful,
Well,
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
So now let's jump a little bit. Why do you want to continue being on City Council? And explain why I said continue.
Okay, well, I was on the Planning Commission for a couple of years, and in March, an opening became available on City Council. And over the last 15 years being back in Lake County, I've come to find that I really enjoy community service. And in particular, I think Clearlake is moving in a good direction. And I think that I can be a leader in that movement and continuing to build on that positive change that we've had over the last year or two. I've got the skills that I've honed over the last 15 years, so when I was appointed, I've been on there now 6 months. Thoroughly enjoy being on it, and I really believe that I am contributing to that positive change, and I want to continue to contribute to that positive change.
Okay, great. Is there one last thing you'd like to say to people?
Well, come out on November 6th, and you should vote. I would hope that you would vote for me for City Council. My name again is Russ Cremer. And I think when I'm successful, I will continue to help the people of Clear Lake to improve our city. And I forgot to mention what's going on today. As you know, in August we had the largest fire in California history, the Mendocino Complex Fire, which burned probably more in Lake County than it did in Mendocino County. Our efforts with LARCA are going again, or they're ongoing. They've never stopped. We've raised more than $100,000 so far to help with the recovery efforts in Lake and Mendocino counties. We have our small business grant program is going, and we're also doing general assistance grants. You can contact LARCA through our website, larca5130.org. It'll come up and it'll say Fire Rotary District 5130 Fires, but it's LARCA. And you can either apply for a grant, or if you'd like a donation, we have addresses that you can send money to, or that you can do an online donation to the effort. So I would encourage you to go on our website and look at that. And while you're at it, I've also got a website, russcremer.com. If you want to hear more or read more about me and what I've done, please go on my website. Again, thank you.